It's Christmas in July, folks. On today's Level 1 podcast, we have some important stuff to talk about. Basically, we're kind of heading into the middle of the summer. And at this point, it's going to be important to look at what we're doing, seeing when the new releases that are exciting are coming out, and then trying to figure out what exactly it is we want to do between then and now. Not only for DSPGaming and upcoming playthroughs, but also for DSP Throwback, a channel that is about to finish, well, has finished one and is about to finish a second major playthrough that's been running for months. And so on today's show, we're going to talk about so many topics, including my new Victrix joystick, these upcoming events, the summer marathon, and more. So stay tuned for another awesome episode of the Level 1 podcast, Christmas in July edition. Okay, enough of that joke. Welcome to the show, everyone. Today is Saturday, the 13th of July, 2024. I'm DSP, and welcome to the Level 1 podcast. In reality, the only reason I was saying Christmas in July is because I accidentally clicked on my Christmas transition there. And then I was like, oops, actually is July, and that's a saying, Christmas in July, so that was kind of stupid and funny. So welcome, and welcome. This is kind of a midsummer show. We're in the middle of July right now, right? And if you actually, excuse me, if you take a look at the gaming landscape of everything that's going on right now, basically we've got about a little over a month, and then we're going to be bombarded with a lot of high-profile new release games that's definitely going to reinvigorate gaming in general, as well as the content on this channel. Games like Black Myth Wukong and Star Wars Outlaws are just two that immediately come to mind that are coming out in that final week or so of August. But between then and now, we've got pretty much nothing going on in the realm of new releases. I mean, you've got a Nintendo World Championships game that may be good for a couple random streams here or there. But outside of that, there's just nothing major going on in the realm of gaming. And so, what we really need to do is take a look at where we are with our established playthroughs, okay? Figure out what's ending soon, because we have not one but two playthroughs on this channel that will be finishing within arguably the next week, okay? And once those are done, then we have to figure out exactly what it is that we want to do next. Do we want to bring back existing playthroughs? Do we want to start new ones? And what is the consensus on this? Or is there no consensus, and no matter what I do, some people will be happy and some people will be disappointed? It happens, right? You can't be perfect. You can't please everyone all the time. But this is a situation where we have roughly a month to do some stuff, and I want to know what it is we want to do, okay? But in addition to that, the other big mystery, which is coming up very quickly, on DSP Throwback, my sister channel, where I have been restoring old content, either in a modern capacity or just re-uploading it so it has a place on the internet because it had been deleted in the past due to hacked former channels of mine. You know, that channel originally is just supposed to be a posterity project. Find the missing videos, upload the missing videos. But then it became something more. Restore these videos. Make them 1080p, 60 frames per second. Increase the volume level so you can actually hear the commentary better. Mute out the copyrighted music so they don't get muted on YouTube for content ID. Make them 30 minutes long instead of just 10 minutes long. Proper thumbnails, proper titling. You know, it completely changes what those actual videos and series are. And so far this year, we've had Red Dead Redemption 1, the entire playthrough. We've had Final Fantasy 13, the entire playthrough, and that took many, many months to get through, okay? Now we have LA Noire heading into its kind of fourth quarter. We really have about maybe a week to 2 weeks left of LA Noire, and it's done. We have Fallout 3, the original run, all right? Not the runs after the fact where I went back into the extra content, into the DLCs, but the original Fallout 3 run where my camera was crooked and everything, actually making that wide screen in HD and everything. It just finished. Did you know that? It literally just finished yesterday over on DSP Throwback. The only reason I didn't mention it, we had so much else going on that I didn't really think of it. And then last night, as I was watching the next part of LA Noire and titling it, I was like, oh yeah, Fallout's over. I should definitely bring this up. So yeah, we've got Fallout 3 done, and we have a new playthrough starting tomorrow, I believe. It might be tomorrow, it might be the next day. I have to double check that. And then we have LA Noire finishing. And with that, the question is, what's the next big restoration project? Do I go back and do random posterity videos that don't exist anywhere and just make sure that they're on the internet, even though they're unfinished playthroughs that really aren't going to go anywhere? Do we pick another major playthrough from my past, one of my epic original ones, and upgrade it and restore it to better quality, right? I'm debating what to do in this regard. I've got some great suggestions from people. So we're going to tackle these topics today on the show. That's basically the major focus of the show. And of course, one other thing we're going to talk about today is the upcoming event, the Digital Summer Party on July 27th, in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's only in 2 weeks. So we really have to kind of sit down and solidify exactly what it is that you guys want to see me do for the Digital Summer Party. Excuse me. My apologies. Yes, my allergies are still acting up. They're very annoying at the drip and the gunk and everything. It's like, ugh, hate this time of year because of that. Anyway, so that's coming in 2 weeks. And I'm excited for that, but it seems like we got so much going on, we haven't really had a time to sit down and talk about it, right? We just haven't. So, there's a lot to discuss here on the show today. Fair enough? All right, let's get to it. First things first. Yesterday, we had an awesome Elden Ring stream where basically we did the entire northwestern quadrant of the map and also did odds and ends of a few things I hadn't finished. Explored everything. Did 2 major bosses. One was completely optional and a returning boss from earlier in the DLC, and I don't want to spoil what it was. But then we had a cool epic new boss. I think her name was Romina. And this boss was a hybrid between, say, like Quelaag and the freaking the centipede boss from that Dark Souls. It was really unique, and I actually liked the design of the boss. Honestly, though, I felt the boss was a little easy. When you're up close, most of the boss's attacks with this spear just miss. And I just realized, oh, I could just stay like right in the boss's face and keep kind of like rolling and stabbing, rolling and stabbing. And I beat it in 2 tries. It was near, it was close. I almost didn't. But my weapon art on the great sword of, is it domination? Destruction? It starts with a D. I keep forgetting what it's called. But this great sword that I got from the Lord of Flames is really good. Its freaking ability is sick. It lands, you jump in the air and you plunge it to the enemy for a big chunk of damage and stun. Then it explodes and causes an area of effect explosion of holy magic that also does a big chunk of damage and stuns again. So if you can land this, you can actually jump over attacks, land on them, and get 2 big chunky hits. And if you've already kind of laid into them, this can stun. And that's actually how I beat this boss yesterday. Last minute on my stream, I basically was hit, and then I did the ultimate, you know, boss weapon attack, and it just stunned the boss. And I was like, oh, finished there. I was like, wow, that was epic. It was such a cool ending. So I really like the boss design. Just seemed a little easy. So now apparently what we're going to do is head into the final area, at least to my knowledge. I don't know if there's anything left that's going to open up and happen, but I had surmised all the way since the beginning of this DLC 2 weeks ago that the end of it was going to be at the very beginning. If you remember, the very first Legacy dungeon was you're climbing this town, and you go to the top of this tower, and it's all blocked off. It's like shadow thorns or something. And I always said, I bet you're going to burn these down, and this is going to be the final dungeon. Well, it looks like that's what's going to happen today, and we'll see what happens on the stream. I don't know if we'll get to the end of the final Legacy dungeon and see the final bosses or not. From what I'm going to understand, the final bosses are absolutely crazy, so I'm probably not beating it today regardless. Maybe I'll need a whole other 1 to 2 streams. We'll see. But Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is about to conclude. Like, we're right at the tippy-top tip end here of the playthrough. Okay? That's cool. What's funny, though, and I will say this. The entire playthrough, all you get is these people who whine and are never happy. So if you remember when I started the playthrough, I was magic build. And everyone's like, oh, you did magic build for your second run in the game. That's boring. You got to respec. And I said, well, let me find some good weapons and stuff in the DLC that I want to respec to use. and I tried doing magic build, and it didn't work. Magic build was incredibly weak for this DLC. It just wasn't working at all. And so I ended up finding these dual electric hand axes. I tried to use those. They weren't very good, in my opinion. They're too stubby. They barely hit anything. So I didn't really like them. So then I found a giant anvil hammer, and that was more my style. And the anvil hammer allowed me to go right back to a boss that I couldn't beat with magic build, and boom, within like 10 minutes, beat it. And I was like, there you go. So here's how you're supposed to do this DLC. Now, since I started the DLC with those builds, I've gone from the anvil hammer to a great shield, holy hammer, counter-attacking build. You guard counter, you block, counter-attack, boom. So that was a completely unique build. I'd never done anything like that before in the Soul series. Then I changed back, and I went to dual great hammers. Okay? Then I changed it again, and I started using this giant weapon that looked like a finger, which was kind of cool, because it had a cool boss effect. Then I changed it up again. Yes, I just kept changing it. And I got this sword that I really like. The Great Sword of... I keep saying it's a Damnation. I think the Great Sword of Damnation. I really like the boss ability on it. So first I was doing dual Great Swords of the Sword of Solitude and the Sword of Damnation, right? But then I was forced into parrying a bit because there was a certain enemy you can't kill unless you parry. And I was like, oh, I actually liked that parry mechanic. I'd like to try it. So then yesterday I took a shield and I leveled it all the way up. So now I've got a shield and I'm doing a combination of parrying with the shield and using the greatsword in one hand, or two-handing the greatsword and using it as a two-handed weapon, and then using the boss weapon ability. So it's been, I mean, just think about what I just said. Magic build, dual electric axes, anvil hammer, shield and counter, guard countering, holy hammer, dual hammers, a second set of dual hammers, dual great swords, or two-handing the great sword and parrying with the shield. I've done 8 different builds during the course of the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, okay? At first, I swear to you, every time I picked a build, there was complaints. Oh, that build's overpowered. Oh, that build's so overpowered. Oh, how did he know that build is overpowered? Oh, look, he's using the build that this YouTuber uses. Oh, look, he's doing this. There's literally no way you can accuse me of copying anyone because I've done 8 different builds. Tell me another person who played Shadow of the Erdtree and changed their build 8 times to try different boss weapons. Now, the funny part is, after all of this changing around and everything, right? People still say dumb stuff like, oh, so you see, he's ready for the final boss. He knows what he's doing. He cheated. First of all, I don't know what the final boss is. I don't know what you're talking about. I have 8 builds. How could I possibly have been doing the final boss build? What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense what these idiots say. You're listening. What it is again, it's the same as my Street Fighter days. It's the same as everything. Anything to discredit something that Darkseid does. Everything that Darkseid does is bad and wrong. He has no skill, no intelligence. He only can copy others or get told what to do, right? He's not good at Dark Souls. He's not good at Street Fighter. He's not good at anything. Therefore, you know, it's all nonsense. So again, they make this narrative up, okay? And then they believe it because they're stupid. It's this weird cultish groupthink mentality that just because a bunch of idiots say something, it's true. And then they just propagate this nonsense, okay? So I see comments and stuff, and I'm like, you know that if they're leaving comments on my videos saying this dumb shit, you know that there's entire videos about it. You know that these idiots are saying this in their circles. They're moronic, right? So I don't know if my build now, the dual-handed greatsword and parrying, if that actually is good for the end of the game. The thing is, we could always do like what I did against the Lord of Frenzied Flame. If I get to a boss where my first build isn't working, like the dual hammers, I could switch to another build, like the guard countering, or I could switch to the greatsword, or I could switch to the parry. I have like 4 options that I can go between for this endgame stuff, and that's good. That's smart. That's not pigeonholing yourself into one strategy, and if it doesn't work, now you're screwed. You got to beat your head against the brick wall till you just win by luck. Instead, I could change it up and try all these different strategies. That's cool, right? If this final boss is as tough as everyone says it is, I think I'm going to need options to try different things, right? And that's a great thing. So I'm happy to have that. And I can't wait to see how this pans out starting today and probably another stream or 2 later in the week. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it ends. All right. I hope you'll join me for that journey. And I hope that you won't listen to the nonsense of what idiots say outside of this channel, because They're just moronic. Again, they just make stuff up and they pass it off as a truthful narrative. Like, did you watch the playthrough, you fucking buffoon? 8 builds. 8. How could I have possibly known the best one for the final boss when I've tried 8 builds? Okay. So anyway, last night, Street Fighter 6, and this is cool. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to my new joystick, the Victrix Pro FS. This thing is a monstrous beast. They call it the Rolls-Royce of fighting game joysticks, and I think people are correct. This thing has color-changing LEDs on the side. It's got comfort grip on the bottom. It's got fully moddable status where you can open it from the back and change out all the controls. It's got the highest end Sanwa components that you can get. It's got all these cool features. It's a really awesome joystick. And in fact, gee, let's see, I'm doing Elden Ring today. What color do I feel like? How about green for Elden Ring today? Green? You think green is more Elden Ringy? Now, you know what? I'm feeling gold. Oh, that's not gold. That's like green or a greenish yellow. Here you go. I'm feeling gold for the Elden Ring itself. Now, you know what? Actually, since we're going to be at the end of the game, I'm just going nice, bright blood red as we kill our enemies, right? I mean, look how ridiculous this is. A fully color-changing joystick. I literally had no idea. None. That it had that at all, just for the record. When someone offered to buy this for me, I was like, oh, it sounds good. It'll be like a really high-end joystick. I didn't know it did that. That's just ridiculous. By the way, you can't turn that off. You can't. It just stays on no matter what you do. You can mute it. There's like there's pulsate. There's go through all the colors. There's, oh, it did go off. There is an actual off. Okay, and you press it again, it turns, there's white. And then there's dark mode. Okay, there is an off, which I didn't realize. So if I don't want to be distracted by LED lights when I'm playing other games, I could turn off the colors. But that's just insanely wild that the joystick does that. It's made of a solid piece of aluminum. It's very heavy, but I like it. It stays on your lap. And as I was playing, it is ergonomic. It's got this curve to it to the front. See that? It's not flat. It's ergonomic. So as I was playing last night, it actually felt very comfortable. The only thing is probably about every half an hour to hour, you have to wipe it because you naturally get oils from your hands on the aluminum. And therefore, it's going to start to feel a little, you know, gunky, sticky or whatever. But all you do is you take this microfiber cloth, you wipe it like this. And you're good to go. In fact, I don't really think, unlike the other one, the Kanba that had the reflective glass-like top, this one doesn't have that. It's aluminum, so I think all I have to do is just casually wipe it, and I'm good. I don't think I'm going to have to, like, scrub it with cleaner like I had to do with the other controller. So how did it go last night with this new joystick? It went really well. I went on a 7-win streak in casual, and I said, I'm just going to go to ranked because I'm not losing in casual. And by the way, my casual matches were all against master players, including people who previously had beaten me easily. There was this tricky Aki player who had kicked my butt, and I beat her ass. Basically, everything was going well. Were there issues? Yeah, there were dropped inputs. There was blocking that didn't happen. Guess what it is? It's the fucking netcode. All right? So I've had enough of everyone defending these games online. Street Fighter 6, at least the PS5 version, absolutely drops inputs and has issues with inputs misreading because of the netcode. When I'm doing a combo, jab, 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 scissors, which is just quarter circle forward and kick, and it gives me jab, 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 head stomp. I literally never pushed up on my fucking joystick and it gave me a head stomp. How did I get that? The netcode. It's the fucking game. So enough excuses trying to defend this shitty netcode. No rollback netcode isn't as bad as I thought it was originally, but when it comes to the dropped inputs, it's bad. And I don't know why people like it so much, except they all play shitty patterns online, so they don't have to worry about the dropped inputs, because this favors that kind of gameplay. But anyway, for the most part, I actually did have a good time. This joystick is outstanding. I literally cannot wait to play again. It just sucks because now I get this joystick for Friday Night Fights. Now I'm not playing Street Fighter again until Monday. Right? It's like, oh, it just figures that I would have gotten this, and then I can't use it again until Monday because I have a full schedule for the weekend. Right? So I'm very much looking forward to Monday. Yesterday's stream, much like all the M. Bison streams, was up and down. I gained points. I lost a lot of points, then I gained them back. So I'm kind of like back at square one where I started. I think I'm at like 1,540 something points in master rank. So I'm above 1,500, but I keep dipping below and then going back up during the course of a stream. It sure would be great to have consistent climbing, but the problem is, here's the funny part about it, right? When I'm playing the good players, if I get to someone who's like a 1,700 points, I always have a really good match where it's close, it's fun, it's competitive. I fought a Blanca at like 1,700 like high ranking points, and we went back and forth. He won one, I won one, and the final round was close. I was like, that was a great match, but I gained a bunch of points because I beat the guy who was higher ranking than me. You see? Then I fight people who are lower ranked but just play patterns, and they fucking beat me because you can't fucking beat it online because you got to guess. It's stupid. You'll lose to the pattern, but I can win against intelligent players because they actually have brains, and that's how I think when I play a fighting game. So, it is what it is. I will continue my climb and my practicing with Bison starting on Monday, all right? So anyway, I cannot wait to use more of the Victrix Pro FS stick. It's an amazing joystick so far. It's the best. It's definitely the craziest and best joystick I've ever owned. I've never seen a joystick with these features before. I can't believe it has the features it has. It's pretty wild, okay? So, more of the Victrix coming up on Monday. And for now, I'm going to turn off the colors. They don't distract me. Okay. Good stuff. Now, let's talk schedule. And then what we need to do is talk about schedule for the future for this channel and then schedule for the future for DSP Throwback. Okay, so schedule-wise, what are we doing today? End game of Elden Ring DLC. I will likely get through this Legacy Dungeon. I don't know if I'll get to the end of it and if we'll see the final bosses or not. No clue. We'll see as it goes today. But obviously, I'm excited to take on the final area. Far Missoula, one of the final dungeons, or the final dungeon, in Elden Ring base game was amazing. It's one of my favorite dungeons FromSoft's ever done. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that this final dungeon is lengthy. Being that this is the final piece of content FromSoft is doing for Elden Ring, I really hope that the final dungeon is, like, epic and fun. Okay, we'll see today. I really hope so. Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it is Stardew Valley Chill. And after having a couple stressful days here of Street Fighter and Elden Ring, it's going to be great to have a nice, relaxing Stardew Valley stream tonight. I hope you'll join me for that on the late stream. They're very interactive and very fun. Tomorrow is React Day, so we're going to have the weekly clip show, DSP versus the Internet, on DSP Reacts on the first stream. However, please, guys, if you're a member over on DSP Reacts, now is the time you must post up your clips for the week. Okay, if you haven't yet, please post up your clips for the week. They need to be in by the end of tonight. The end of tonight's late stream of Stardew Valley. That's when I make the playlist. If they come in and those clips are nominated after the fact, sadly, they're not going to make it onto the show. So please get your clips posted up if you are a channel member over on DSP Reacts, okay? And then the late stream tomorrow night, DSP Throwback, Dark Souls 1 Retro React continues. We're almost done. We basically need 2 more streams of this, and then we'll actually have finished my original Dark Souls 1 run. I'm excited because we now are moving on into new areas that we haven't been to yet. We beat Capra Demon, and we're heading now into the underground sewer area where I believe the Gaping Dragon is coming up, that boss and all of that. We had an epic final part the other night, on Sunday night, with the Retro Replay stream where I got cursed. And now I'm running around in circles for like an hour trying to figure out how do I cure this curse, because the game kind of screwed me over, and I was basically impersonating Miyazaki, laughing at people getting cursed, watching their streams. It was pretty fun. I was dancing and everything. I can't wait for more of it tomorrow night. It's going to be a great time as we head into the final parts of the Dark Souls 1 playthrough. Then on Monday, I return with Street Fighter 6 Bison on the day stream with the Victrix. And then Monday night, more Riven Remastered. FYI, 2 more streams of Riven Remastered, and we're going to beat it. Basically, people are like, yeah, there's about 3 to 3.5 hours left. And I'm like, 2 night streams, that's what we'll do to wrap it up. There you go. And then Tuesday, my final consecutive streaming day of the week, it'll be more Elden Ring DLC. And what I'm guessing is that's probably going to be the last stream, or at least the stream where I get to the final boss, whether or not I beat the final boss. And then Tuesday night, Stardew Valley, and then that is the streaming week. Fair enough? Now, moving forward, I don't know if Wednesdays will continue to be my day off or not. I will let you guys know once I know. I know a lot of people say a lot of questions. They want to know what's going on, what's going on. I can't tell you everything going on for privacy reasons because of people who are very, very intrusive and people who have a lot of, they want to be harassing us and my family and everything. What I can say is a few quick things, okay? There's been a lot of issues this year with health. There's been a lot of issues this year with private stuff going on behind the scenes, and it keeps kind of screwing a lot of stuff up for us, appointments and all kinds of stuff. And without saying too much, that's why things are kind of chaotic right now. Like, we don't know when our day off will be. We don't know what our schedule is. It's kind of all over the place, okay? So, immediately this person gets banned. This idiot says, DSP has cancer. No, but you're banned from my chat permanently for saying that. Because don't you think that if there was something serious like that, that I would tell you, right? So you can shut the fuck up and go away and never come back. You want to be, you immediately got to go to the most dramatic, awful thing because you like drama. Don't come back, okay? Like I said, it's personal things behind the scenes going on. Yes, health is one of them, but there's other things as well. And because of that, it's been screwing up a lot of stuff in our lives. It's not just me. It's not just my wife. It's both of us that have a stake in this and are affected by it. And it makes it so that it's not consistent. And that sucks because basically what I would like to do is have consistency and have safety and have a routine and have all of that. And for the most part, I've had that. And now things are kind of getting shaken up. And there's nothing I can really do about it. In life, that's one of the worst things for me anyway, is when you're in a situation where it's a bad situation or not an ideal situation, and it doesn't matter what you do, you can't really do anything to change it. You don't really have power over it. There's nothing you can do about it. I hate that in life. And the older I get, that's what happens more often. And it's like, it sucks, right? And that's the situation that we're in right now, right? When you ask things like, why haven't Phil and Kat done that co-op of Beyond Two Souls that was promised to us, which, by the way, it wasn't promised, but when it was promised to us months ago, this is one of the reasons why, okay? Because our schedule's not consistent, because our health isn't consistent, and you're not going to do that kind of stuff until it's solidified. What's the point of trying to force one stream, and then you don't know when you can do the next one, or the stream ends up being shitty? There's no point, right? So you got to understand that, and I hope you'll be understanding of that. And I'm sorry that I can't be more consistent with my scheduling. I wish I could be. I wish that we could have scheduled the co-op. You know, it is what it is. It's life. We're dealing with it here behind the scenes. And please be understanding of it. A lot of people won't hear this clip, and then they're going to still come and pester and ask, why is he not here on the same days? Why doesn't he do the co-op? Listen, it's all right. I'm not going to get angry about that. All right? But, of course, again, there's the people on the internet who want to over-dramatize everything, who want to turn everything into fucking, something for their own personal benefit because they love drama. They're a bunch of fucking rumor mongers, right? What's the latest buzz? What's the latest drama news that you've heard, right? Gossip, gossip, gossip. Well, gossip this, bitches. I'm not telling you anything because you don't deserve to know. Maybe if there were people out there who were actually nice and could handle news, then maybe I would actually tell you everything that's going on, but I know that they can't. So, no, I'm not going to tell you everything going on. It's just life, okay? So, FYI, yes, this week, Wednesday again is my day off. I have no clue if Wednesday will be my day off again next week. I have no clue what's going on with the co-op. I just have no clue. Okay? That's life. I will let you know when I know anything further. Okay? Okay. All right. So there you go. So that's the schedule. Now, we have two things to discuss. Thing number one, what are we going to do here on DSP Gaming once Elden Ring concludes, likely within the next week, and once Riven Remastered concludes, likely in the next week? That's two playthroughs that'll be out of the rotation, meaning the only consistent playthroughs going on will be coverage of Street Fighter 6 and Stardew Valley, right? So the way I see it, one thing I absolutely want to do, I want to finish the Fallout 4 run. Fallout 4, we literally played for like 2 months. We got over like 40, 50 hours into it. I don't know exactly how many hours, but it was a ridiculous amount of hours that we put into it. And to just drop it and not go back to it, I feel would be a big disservice to those who watched the playthrough for as long as they did. Now, listen, it was absolutely falling off in popularity and attention by the time that I stopped playing it. In fact, I'm going all the way back here. I'm going to try to find it, where we put it on hiatus when I started with the Elden Ring DLC. Here it is. We were 55 hours. Yeah. 55 hours into it. And that's where we ended it. Yep. 55 hours in is where we wrapped up Fallout 4. What do we have left in Fallout 4? And by the way, that last part was June 17th. So it was about exactly a month ago when we stopped playing Fallout. Okay? Well, we still have to finish the Nuka-Cola World DLC. And honestly, if we just focused on that, we probably wouldn't be too long. Like, probably if we just focused on Nuka-Cola, we probably could beat that DLC within 1 to 2 streams. Okay? I guarantee, because it's not a super long DLC. There is an Automatron DLC. That's much shorter. It's only like an hour or two. We could probably do that. And then we could just finish the game. Which is, I just have to go to the Institute, right? Then I have to pick a side. Do I want to side with the Institute, the Brotherhood, or the Railroad? And then do that series of missions and finish the game. The end of the game is very quick. I remember. It's not very lengthy at all. So I would argue that probably between finishing Nuka World, maybe if we do Automatron and the ending of the game, you know, maybe 5-6 streams tops. So maybe, you know, 2-3 weeks, if that. I definitely think that's something I want to do. Being that we put all that time into it, this is the Bethesda playthrough for this year. I think we should bring it back. Now, the thing is, it was working as a day stream, and then it wasn't. Like, we were doing it as day streams, and then all of a sudden, near the end there, when I put it on hiatus, the attendance was very much waning, and the support was almost non-existent. And I'm like, if I'm going to bring this back, how do I do it? Do I do it as a late-night chill stream? Will people show up for it for a late-night chill stream? I don't know. I'm definitely worried that if I bring it back as a day stream, it's going to kill a whole, you know, half of my streams that day with people who aren't that engaged or interested. All right? So I need your feedback. Fallout 4 is likely coming back, but is it going to be a day stream or a night stream? Does it replace Riven or does it replace Elden Ring? Okay? The other portion of this is that obviously we want to do something else. And the question is, what's it going to be? Should it be a brand new playthrough like System Shock Remake, which we had talked about doing for a while and I haven't done? Should it be something else that I skipped and haven't had opportunity to go back to? Should it be the Luigi's Mansion 2 remake that just came out recently? Should it be Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door? You see, there's a lot of games that have come out in the last several months that I just don't know what I want to do. I'm happy with any of those, honestly. Like, any of that sounds good to me, but I really don't know what the people want. So what we need to do, we have a week to figure this out, all right? Bring back Fallout 4 is kind of a given, but does it want to be day or night streams, right? Outside of that, what other playthrough do I want to bring into the mix for the next month? Because like I said, the next major thing is Black Myth Wukong, August 20th. That's what's going to be the priority. Then after that, we got Star Wars Outlaws, and then it's pretty much nonstop stuff for a while. But we need something for the month, okay? So what do we do, and what's the timing of all of it, right? So think about it. I need feedback. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know in the chat. Leave comments on the video. Let me know during streams. Please give me feedback in the next week of what to do for this channel next for the next month, okay? Now, the other thing is, coming up is the Digital Summer Party on Saturday, July 27th. There will be games. What games? Probably some Stardew Valley, maybe some Street Fighter, all right? Maybe we'll do a summertime tier maker because we haven't done a tier maker in a very long time, and those are fun to do, especially if I'm having a little bit of a drink getting buzzed while we do the tier maker. That's pretty fun. Outside of that, you know, I'm open to any suggestions of what you guys would like to do during that event. There will be food, you know, I don't know what, but maybe some summertime food. Maybe I'll order some barbecue or something. You know, something like that could be pretty cool. And it will be a marathon setting, meaning it'll be an ongoing stream that runs all day rather than separate sessions that are split up, right? So, if you have any other further ideas of things that we should do, like, for example, the Nintendo World Championships game is coming out in the next week, maybe I could get it and do some crazy old-school challenge runs during that day, and people could vote in polls. Will Phil complete this challenge? Will he not? You know, stuff like that. I'd be down for that. So think about it. We have 2 weeks to figure that out as well. So basically, we have 1 week to figure out what are the next playthroughs and at what order do I place these games as day and night streams. And then we have another week to figure out what are we doing during the Digital Summer Party Marathon event. Okay? So let's begin these discussions every day till we figure it out. Now, in addition to all of that, I already talked about this on DSP Throwback. I just finished Fallout 3. All right? I'm happy to announce we're going to do some posterity content, meaning videos and playthroughs that are completely missing from the internet for various different reasons. The first game we're starting with is Dante's Inferno. This is a game that when it came out in like 2010, I believe, it might have been 2009, but I think it was 2010, it was a blatant ripoff of old school God of War. The game literally plays like old school God of War. Like, there's not even a difference. It's weapons similar, gameplay similar, gore similar, all that kind of stuff. The reason that this playthrough never made it onto YouTube for me is because the second world is the second level of hell. Get it? Dante's Inferno, where Dante's going through the levels of hell. Well, the second level of hell is lust. And therefore, the entire stage is dicks and boobs. Now, it's not sexual stuff. It's like you know, an enemy with boobs, but they're a fucking blood-sucking monster. Or, you know, giant towers of dicks in the background. It's really stupid, but that they designed it that way, okay? At the time, 2009, 2010, YouTube wouldn't allow it on YouTube at all. I tried uploading these videos. They all got rejected for community guidelines, saying this is extreme adult content, you know, and we can't have this. I was like, what are you talking about? It's a video game where you chop up monsters. There's no sexual content in this. You know what I mean? It's just, there's some nudity, but it's gore. It's like a R-rated horror movie is essentially what it is. Too extreme for YouTube, not allowed. So I could never upload it. I tried uploading it to, like, I think it was like Dailymotion or something like that, and that site wouldn't even work. Like, the video would corrupt. I couldn't put it in a playlist. It was just a nightmare. So I want to say it's 3 folders of videos, and each folder is like 13 parts. So that's about 2. So I probably like a 6 to 7 hour playthrough of this game, and that's it. Like, that's all I've got, because after that, I couldn't upload it to YouTube anymore. And I said, well, I'm not going to bother continuing to play a game for myself. I was trying to make videos for YouTube. So I just stopped, and I never went back to it. So this is one of the unfinished, unseen playthroughs of the internet, and that will be edited, upscaled, put together, and those playthrough parts will start going live either today or tomorrow over on DSP Throwback, okay? I even think the part 1 is like an hour-long video, like an hour premiere, and then other parts will be 30 minutes after that for the rest of the playthrough. So it's probably only going to be like 10 parts, 11 parts, something like that. It's not going to be a lot of parts, but it'll be going on for a couple of weeks, you know, as we get through it, okay? So Dante's Inferno is the next thing, and then after that, I think I'm going to go into the other missing videos. So, for example, the online play sessions that I did with John Rambo and others, where we were just playing for the sake of getting raw footage that I could then edit to be the Suicide Kings series. I think I will make actual videos of that and put that up so that's there for posterity purposes, upscaled and everything, right? Oh, by the way, one thing I want to say, we're now done with all the playthroughs that have copyrighted music. Both Fallout 3 and LA Noire are playthroughs where if I had the real music in there, those playthroughs would be blocked and claimed and messed up. So the audio sounds distorted in those playthroughs because we have to distort all the background music. I don't have to do that anymore. Any other videos that I put on DSP Throwback, we can use the in-game music normally again, so you don't have to worry about, oh man, the audio is all garbled and everything. We're done with that. It's going to sound normal again, okay? So, we've got Dante's Inferno on deck, and then when Dante's Inferno concludes, it'll be Suicide Kings online co-op, raw footage, and then after that, there's some other things. There's Kung Fu Panda. There's a trip that I went to, I think it's New York Comic Con, and then also a trip to New York City that I went with them that we can put into like travel vlog montages that are missing from the internet, so those can finally be there for posterity purposes. There may or may not be some stuff from Blip TV that never got carried over to YouTube. I'm not sure. If you don't know, in late 2010, I started uploading exclusively to Blip TV for a couple of months, and then the whole thing fell apart and I came back to YouTube. So there may be some video series that were on Blip that I didn't re-upload to YouTube. So I'll have to look into that. So yeah, all that posterity stuff is going to be going live over the next couple of months. I want to get all the posterity stuff done. And then starting in September, October, the next major project will be Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare DLC playthrough, which is an epic co-op playthrough I did with John Rambo. It was super fun. It's missing from the internet. I'll get that up next, probably starting in September, and go through September, October for the Halloween season. Okay? So the posterity stuff and the Undead Nightmare stuff is good to go. However, I need to know what's the next other playthrough that I should do after LA Noire concludes. LA Noire will be done within about another week or two. Okay? So what's an old game that you guys would like to see me upscale, edit into longer parts, proper thumbnails, proper titling, echo reduction, the whole 9 yards? My two that I'm thinking, Dragon Age 2 to coincide with the release of the new Dragon Age coming out later in this year, or Assassin's Creed 2 to coincide with the release of the new Assassin's Creed game coming out this year. I think either of those would be excellent classic playthroughs to edit, upscale, and release as new playthroughs. Okay? That's my take. Now, maybe you guys have other ideas, and I'd love to hear your ideas as well of what you would like to see. However, there's a couple things you have to keep in mind. The playthroughs have to be playthroughs where the playthrough exists kind of right now, and I could basically, do it. Here's one thing that I was thinking, but I don't know if it's going to work. If you remember my original Grand Theft Auto playthrough, GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and San Andreas, they were epic. I did them all in the summer of 2012. Remember? I played all three of those games back to back. PS2 versions on my HD TV. It was a huge fucking lag-infested mess. It was a nightmare to play through them because they were so bad and laggy. Okay? They were not direct capture yet. It was still the camera pointed at the TV, so the quality was also atrociously bad. Okay? The catch here is that I left the music on in those playthroughs, and back then the music wasn't an issue, but once 2013 hit, the music became a giant issue, and the music got those playthroughs blocked, muted. Like, you cannot watch my original playthroughs of those games without missing parts. There's entire missing parts gone from the internet, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So how about I go back to the original files of those playthroughs and we remaster them to edit out the music, just like we did with Fallout 3, just like we're doing with LA Noire. So you can watch the original 3 GTA playthroughs with upscaled graphics, full 30-minute parts, thumbnails, titles, and the music won't make the video get muted or blocked. You can hear everything going on. That literally doesn't exist on the internet today. There's entire chunks of the playthrough blocked and missing. You would be able to see those parts again. Okay? So we got options. Assassin's Creed 2, Dragon Age 2, restoring the classic GTAs. All right? So I would like to hear your thoughts on this, right? I would love to hear. Abu says GTA without music is a crime. I agree with you, but YouTube won't allow it. YouTube will block those playthroughs. That's what I mean. It would have to be us re-editing the playthroughs to distort the music so that it doesn't screw up the playthrough and you can watch it, right? So I would love to hear all of your opinions. I need to figure this out within the next week or two, because once LA Noire is done, we got to move on to the next game, and so we got to figure it out, okay? So please give me your opinions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and within the next few days, let's determine what the next big playthrough for DSP Throwback should be. Fair enough? Casanova says, are you going to react to Suicide Kings, or will it be a raw upload? It's going to be a raw upload of restoring it. Then if we want to react to it after the fact, I can. Like, for example, people have said, would you react to the LA Noire playthrough? Well, it didn't exist, but now it does because we restored it. So now in the future, if you want me to react to LA Noire, I can react to the LA Noire playthrough because we re-uploaded it. You see? So there you go. Sound good? I think this is all good, positive stuff. All right, so once again, to summarize, in the next week, we got to determine what streams will Fallout 4 resume on. Will it be late streams or day streams? And what will the other game be to fill in the gaps once we finish both Elden Ring and Riven Remastered? Will it be System Shock Remake, Mario and the Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion 2, or something else? We got to figure that out. Then, a week after, we got to figure out what's going to be in the summer, digital summer party, right? What events do you want to see during that? Let's talk about that. Then for the throwback channel, all right, we got to figure out what's the next major playthrough, because we already know the posterity videos that are missing from the internet will be uploaded. But what other playthrough do you want? Do you want me to restore Assassin's Creed 2, Dragon Age 2, the classic GTAs? What is it you'd like to see? So give me your feedback, all right? Leave comments. Tell me in the chat. I need the feedback everywhere. And then once I have that feedback, we can determine what's best for the channels, okay? And then we'll know what we're doing for the next month, month and a half until the new releases start hitting in late August. Fair enough? All right. Guess what? I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about today. There's no game news today. I checked. There's nothing really going on in the realm of game news at all that I could see. So we're going to do a couple of quick shout-outs. We're going to do Q&A, and we're going to see where the show takes us. Okay? Let's do shout-outs. We start off today with Guitar Player 1939. 37 months as a supporter of the channel. Thank you so very much. Since we're on the topic of memberships, it appears YouTube has disabled my gifted memberships. What I mean by that is people who've been trying to gift them, they're not going out. They just sit there in limbo and don't appear to be being handed out anymore. I think this was a purposeful thing on YouTube's behalf. I think YouTube saw so many fake gifted memberships coming in from the Argentinian VPN that they basically suspended gifted memberships on my channel. I couldn't explain otherwise why people are trying to gift them and no one gets them. Okay? In fact, yeah, I'm taking a look. Remember the last couple of days people tried to drop those member bombs? They're not here. I'm looking at it right now. I didn't get them. Nope. It's actually, my members have stayed the same number for the last 2 days. So I think that it ain't going to work anymore. Okay? So FYI, I would recommend, if you want to support this channel, super chats, super stickers, become a member yourself, or tip. The gifted memberships seem to be in limbo and not working. Again, I don't know. I didn't get anything from YouTube about it. I looked. There's no notification anywhere. But as people are trying to do the gifts, they're not going through. So I would recommend you don't waste time on it. You're probably just going to get refunded after the fact. Why waste your time on that? Support in another way. Okay? Fair enough. And you know the deal. You know, 50 bucks in tips is my goal for every stream. Anything else on top of that is greatly appreciated. It sure would be great to get support other ways. It helps a lot. Actually, for about a month there, things were going really well. And then in the last few weeks, it slowed down. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. That's the nature of the beast. It goes like this. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's slower. So I'm not going to sit here and whine. Now I'm kind of in a downward trend. It would be great to turn things around. I mean, look, we haven't worn the Bison hat or the Dumas helmet or a hat for Stardew Valley in weeks, right? I'm not hitting those goals. So I'm just saying, yeah, it would be great to get a bounce back. If people like the content, please support it today. I would really appreciate that. Okay? Okay. So thank you, Guitar Player, for re-upping your membership, and thanks for reminding me about that. Fart has done the first super chat of the day. It says, I'll throw my hat into the ring for Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door. It's a 30-hour-long game. Interesting. Listen, I played it on GameCube back in the day. I actually loved it. I was really enjoying it, but I only got maybe 10, 12 hours in, and for whatever reason, I ended up never playing it again. I have no recollection why. I really don't. But I really liked the game. So I think that I would really enjoy it. The question is, would my mainstream audience enjoy it? That I don't know. Okay? So cheers to Fart for the first super chat of the day. And then Monty Mole, 12 months as a member. Pop in their message, says, everyone become a member. Thank you, Monty Mole. Okay, let's open up the chat to Q&A. Let's see what people have to talk about. If any more contributions come in today, I will shout them out. Right now, we have no tips or anything that have come in as of yet. I'm just refreshing to make sure. Nope, I don't see anything. Okay. Why did I stop doing bubble blows? Because basically it was becoming disgusting in the office. The bubbles were landing on stuff and making everything sticky. And I didn't want to have to keep wiping down my office all the time because there was sticky bubble residue everywhere. And in addition to that, it became to the fact where people were actually gaming the system. Meaning they would sit here and like my stream to give me like 100 likes. And then as soon as I blew the bubbles, they would all unlike the stream and it would go down to like 60 likes. So basically, they found you can unlike something after liking it just to get what you want. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have people mess with me anymore. So I just said one day, I'm not doing it anymore. Too bad. And that was the end of that. And that was a long time ago. I don't even remember when I canceled doing it. And I really don't care. I'm not going to go back to doing it. Well, Jordan did not listen to me whatsoever and just attempted to give a membership. And as everyone can see, it's not being gifted to anyone. I don't know why Jordan didn't listen. I literally, it's like he was trying to like test the waters here, but I literally just told you that it doesn't work, and he did it anyway. As you can see, Jordan, it's not going out. I told you it wouldn't work. Have I had the final boss of the DLC spoiled for me? Honestly, I think I know the name of the final boss, maybe. 2 weeks ago, some dunce in chat just started talking about it outright, and I banned them, and then they actually emailed me and said, okay, oh, I don't understand. I was like, dude, you literally were saying right there in chat, you were saying the name of or supposedly the name of the final boss, and it's a spoiler, right? So that's all I know. I don't actually know what the final boss is. I don't know what the fight is, but I might know the name of the final boss because this idiot spoiled it. Okay? And by the way, after I called them out for that, they refused to apologize for spoiling and saying they wouldn't do it again. They just went away. So I think I made the right choice banning them. Okay? Okay. Oh, people are saying the gifted membership did go through. Hold on. Now I have to investigate. Did it? It doesn't show it. It doesn't show it who it went to in my chat. There it is. Okay. Dank Tank 02. Congratulations on getting the gifted membership. I guess they do work. They haven't worked for 2 days. Now they're working again. Okay, hold on a second. Maybe what YouTube has done is made it so that the mass gifting doesn't work. Because yesterday, a troll tried to gift 50, and they did not go out. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe the mass gifting isn't working, but small gifting works. Again, this is all theory because YouTube doesn't tell me anything. They just do whatever they want. So it's up to you guys. I mean, if you want to take the risk of trying to gift memberships, it's up to you guys. I mean, that's your call. It's definitely a risk. You may end up having your support be looming in a freaking black hole somewhere forever, or it might just work. I don't know. Well, thank you, Jordan. I guess someone had to try it, and it looks like the single one worked. And congrats to Dank Tank 02. I hope you enjoyed the membership. Be sure to thank Jordan for it. If you're here. I don't even know if they're here. Oh, I'm sure individual memberships can be purchased through a VPN. The difference being that's a lot of work. Just think about it. You have to sit there and keep doing individual transactions over and over instead of the 50 bomb. Generation Z says, I'm using Dalsim in Street Fighter 6. He seems to be the most underrated character, but has unique, challenging mechanics to master. Do you agree? Yes. He's not underrated. It's just that he's hard to play. The top tiers of Street Fighter 6 are incredibly easy to play. Those characters that you see at the top, Fury, Cammy, Ken, you know, to some extent it was DJ. People are saying DJ got nerfed now. But those top tiers are insane. Oh, Luke. Oh, my God. Don't get me started on how easy Luke is. They're all insanely easy to play. No risk, high reward characters. Dalsim is a very difficult to play, high risk, high reward character. Okay? If you actually want to challenge yourself and show you're good, you use Dalsim. If you want to be like everyone else who's just a button pusher, who just plays a pattern, who has no concept of how to play Street Fighter, you play one of those top tiers. It's that simple. There's not much else to it. Okay. All right, what else would you guys like to talk about today? We got a little bit of time. If we end up with no topics to talk about, we could easily just jump into Elden Ring. I will shout out any contributions that happen to come in here, if any do. I don't want to say what I think the name of the final boss is because that'll spoil for people. If it is what it is, it's actual a major story spoiler, and it actually feeds in to something that I suspected about this DLC all along, which I told you guys months before it came out. That's what I thought it was going to be, and I think it still is. But I don't want to confirm that till we get to the end, so I'm not going to say the name of it. Don't say the name of it in chat either, because then you're breaking the chat rules. Okay? I received a $1 tip from Game Master. If you plan to play System Shock, it's on sale for, it's normally $49.99. It's actually on sale for $27.99 for 4 more days. Shit. Of course, this has to happen now before we come to the determination, right? All right, well, I'll say this. We have to figure this out in the next couple of days then, guys. We have to figure out... Oh, my God. Excuse me. We have to figure out if I'm going to be playing System Shock or not, so I can get it for the cheaper price. So let's think about it, okay? Thank you for telling me, Game Master. I'll probably take a look at that tomorrow when I have my Xbox hooked up for React Day. That's our first tip of the day. Julio just attempted to give 5 memberships, and it looks like they're going out. One went to Fruity Pebbles. One went to E. Martinez. Congrats to the 2 of you. So far, only the 2 have gone out. Julio. Is that Don Julio? It's the liquor. It's the profile icon is the bottle of liquor. That's funny. Well, only 2 went out. You see what I mean? I don't think it's working right. Only 2 have gone out of the 5. Thank you, Hair of the Dog, for a super chat. Greasy just got one of those memberships. It seems to be like it barely works. Like it works, but not really. It barely works, right? Seth was just got one of those gifted memberships. Congrats to Seth. Yeah, it only gave 4. Well, I go back and clean up missed stuff after the final boss. I already did. Yesterday, we went to this dungeon we had done. What was it? The Lamentation dungeon or something like that? I can't remember what it was called. And then we fought that final hippo that I had not fought. The only things I haven't done in the DLC are fighting the Deathbirds. I don't care. The fucking Deathbirds are identical to when you fought them in the main game. There's no point to fighting the Deathbirds. So we've done it all. From what I'm to understand, we did every optional dungeon, all the jails, all the mausoleums, all of the blacksmith areas. We've done them all. So, do I still think about Sea of Stars? Yeah, and I do want to eventually get back to Sea of Stars. We have to find the right time for it. The way I see it, we got to finish Fallout. Let's get Fallout done. And once Fallout's done, let's see how much more time we have. I'm telling you, we will absolutely finish Sea of Stars. I don't know when it will be. We are finishing that game. It's a great game. I'm not just going to leave it unfinished forever. Even if it's in a year, I'm still going back to finish Sea of Stars at some point. Will we be alive when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out? Depends. Depends on, you know, if nuclear war destroys the planet first or not, I guess. I don't know. Satan666 says, there aren't many games out right now. Would you go back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? No, I'm not doing that right now. I don't see the point. Again, that's a game people did not care about when it was new. They weren't coming to the streams, they weren't engaging with the streams, and they weren't supporting the streams, and the few people out of the 200 people who were in attendance for a new release complained it was boring and didn't want me to play it anymore. I don't see the point. Okay? I just don't see the fucking point. Why bring back a game people did not want? And again, it's one or two people that ask for it every once in a while. It's not like there's a giant group of people saying, man, you really screwed the pooch by not playing it. It seems like there's a vocal, small group of people who liked it, but it's not a mainstream audience that's going to care that much. So I don't think I should waste time on it, especially because I'm only 20 hours into an apparently 80-hour-long game. No, I didn't have much problems with Mesmer at all. I beat Mesmer within like 15 minutes. The toughest boss for me in this whole DLC has been the first one, the Dancing Lions, because I wasn't spec'd properly. Once I got a new weapon from the DLC and I respec'd to use it, I went back to the Dancing Lions. Still had a little bit of problems, but I did beat it. That was the toughest thing for me. Since then, it's been pretty much smooth sailing. There hasn't been a single boss that's really taken. I think Bale took a while. Bale took maybe 30 minutes, I think. But definitely Dancing Lion was the hardest thing in this DLC for me. All right, so congrats to Jaden. Jaden got the last gifted membership. That took over 5 minutes to divvy out for some reason, but apparently these gifted memberships are working just incredibly slowly. There you go. Thank you, Julio, for that. Yes, I would play a Bloodborne PS5 remaster. Jordan, it says I just explained. He says, do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so people will just stop asking. It's over 60 more hours of gameplay. It would take months. You understand? It's not like, oh, just wrap it up. Like Fallout 4, we can wrap that up in a few weeks. Max, right? Not a big deal. Final Fantasy VII, we'd be playing this until like fucking September, October. You know, it's too long. If I was going to play it, I had to play it when it was new. I did, and people complained, so I stopped. Here's the truth. If I'm playing a game and you want to see it, show up, engage, and support the game. Don't then complain months later that the game didn't get finished when you weren't there when it was new. I don't know what else to say. You have to show up and support the games you want to see on the streams, or else the games won't be continued on the streams. That's the nature of the beast. No streamer is going to sit there playing a game no one's watching, right? So you've got to be there for it. You got to support it, and no one did. So I stopped playing it. What do you want me to do? Listen, I'm upset. I bought the goddamn game. I was liking the game, but I can't make people enjoy it. And that's the funny part. Oh, it's you. How could it be me if I play other games and people show up, engage, and support with those games, but just not that one? It's not me. It's not me. It's that certain games are just not entertaining to a certain style of audience. And my audience, these lengthy RPGs aren't cutting it. They're tired of them. Expand Dong's vote is for Paper Mario. He said it's a meaty and meaningful 30-hour game. It's not too long, not too short. It'll last until Wukong and Otherwise Dead July. That's a good analogy. Copeem says it's like asking a sandwich shop, hey, why did you stop selling this particular kind of sandwich? But then when they ask, well, did you ever buy the sandwich? They say, oh, no, I never bought it. That's why I fucking stopped selling it. Right? That was actually a really good analogy. Custer's Revenge speedrun? You mean speedrun to get banned from YouTube? No thanks. I think I'll avoid getting banned. The snake attacks from Mesmer were annoying. I agree. The snake attack killed me like 3 times. Where I was doing perfectly fine against Mesmer, and then he just used the giant snakes, and I just kept trying to roll and dodge, and I would get hit anyway. But ultimately, I beat him by just overwhelming him. Where he never really... I think once I got him past it, and then I was able to beat him. Any interest in the new Monkey Ball game? Yeah, that was another one. There was a new Super Monkey Ball game that came out. Maybe that's something that we can check out. Inara says, the Concord beta just went live. The game is terrible. There you go. Jordan says, I'll donate $200 if you do another night of Baldur's Gate 3. Jordan, I would prefer if you keep your money and then support something that's realistic, that you like, rather than asking for something ridiculously unrealistic that's not going to happen. Yeah, oh, I could attest that Monkey Ball is a very frustrating game. Are you kidding? It's fun when it clicks and you figure out how to do one of those tough stages. It's very fun, but dude, doing it and then get that little pinpoint accurate twist. Oh, I did it slightly off, and I gotta fucking do the whole checkpoints over again. It's like, oh my god. Generation Z says, I didn't know Paper Mario travels like a paper airplane. Did you do that in the original? I mean, I don't recall. I played it over 20 years ago, but it sounds like something that would happen in a Paper Mario game, yeah. Jay Stan says, I want you to play something you never really play. Bear with me. It's called Street Fighter 6. Would you play some? All right, you know what? Let's cancel today's stream of Elden Ring. Let's just go right into Street Fighter 6. I feel like I really got to play. I don't play the game enough. I haven't played it much recently. Let's go ahead and jump right into Bison Ranked with Street Fighter 6 today and see how it goes. I'm ready. I got my Vectrix going. I'll turn on some fancy color. I'll pick a color of Bison that matches the color of the joystick. We'll go right in and we'll kick some butt. Here we go. Ready? That's what you guys want, right? Oh, I know what this is. This is an off. Look at this mode. Ready? Watch this. When I touch the button, the lights go off. How cool is that? So that's the mode I'll leave it on when I'm not going to be using it, so that way I don't have the lights on constantly. What an awesome joystick. Holy crap. All right, you guys are ready? Street Fighter 6 it is. All right. Stream canceled. Street Fighter 6 time. Here we go. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we should actually do the end game of Elden Ring as promised. People don't get upset with me. Because they will. They'll get upset with me. Say, how dare you change something? I would be down for Street Fighter 6, but the bottom line is half the people won't be here who like it. Like, if people don't know I'm playing Street Fighter 6, you wouldn't have the regulars who like Street Fighter 6 and support it to be here, so it wouldn't be a successful stream. I know it. Oh, yeah, you know what's funny? Modern fighting games, you don't actually have to mash. In the Versus series, you have to mash to get extra hits and damage. So it's going to be funny for the first time in 100 years seeing me play a fighting game where when I'm playing, I have to go like this to actually do, like, extra damage and moves. People are going to be like, what are you doing there? Right? There hasn't been an active fighting game where you had to mash like that in a very long time. All right. Ooh. Do I feel like I'm chasing a carrot that's dangling in front of me for my whole life? No. Not at all, actually. Really, really, seriously, no. I would like to get to a point in my life where, like, everything is settled in and safe and normal. And the problem is, every time it looks like I'm going to be there, some extenuating circumstance happens that throws things for a loop. This year, I just told you earlier on the show, things going on with health and scheduling and stuff behind the scenes has been a big focus of stress and annoyance and sadly just uncertainty for this year. Hopefully we get past that. Once we get past that, then on to the next thing. It's like, it's not a carrot. I'm not chasing a carrot. I just want this annoying thing that's in my face to go away. You know what I mean? Oh man. Ugh. My nose. Anything else? Are we done? You guys are very, very quiet today. I thought there'd be more Q&A, but no. People have clammed up. So if that's the case, if there's nothing going on, we could end the podcast and I guess jump into Elden Ring early, if that's really what you want. Jordan says, do you want me to start coming back for Stardew streams? Jordan, I don't know why you left. We have a great time on the Stardew stream. We really do. We enjoy each other's company. We talk about the game. We talk about other topics. It's a really nice, chill, interactive experience. I don't know why you left them. Your presence was very appreciated on them. People are now asking me questions of things we've already discussed on this very show. So I'm just ignoring them. It's like, I think we got to end the podcast then. People are literally... So, when you go back to Fallout 4, are you going to finish the DLCs? And how much longer do you think you have for it? It's like literally that was a segment of the show. You could rewind to get that answer. Yeah, I know there's that game Path of the Goddess that comes out on the 19th, I think. And that's a Game Pass game. We could play that one, but I don't know anything about it. If you guys want me to try that, like, instead of starting a brand new playthrough of something else uncertain, if you want me to try that because it's on Game Pass and see if it's any good, and if it's good, keep playing it, we could do that. Or we could literally play it once, be like, what the hell is this? It sucks, and never play it again. I'd be okay with that. Oh, okay. All right, let's sorry. Let's end the podcast, and I guess we're gonna start with Elden Ring early today. There's really nothing, there's no reason to delay, right? All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed the show. Again, feedback needed. Number 1, what should I play to replace the ongoing playthroughs that are about to end? Number 2, when Fallout 4 comes back soon, should it be a night or day stream? Number 3, on DSP Throwback, what should be the next major playthrough that we do to balance with the posterity video? Should it be Assassin's Creed 2, Dragon Age 2, maybe the classic GTA playthroughs, or should it be something else? Number 4, what do you want to see during the digital summer party? This is all key feedback I need in the next few weeks to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the summer before the new releases hit. So please share. And thank you for watching the Level 1 podcast. I'll see you tomorrow.